I mean, you know what? Let's just put it this way. Start my Instagram. Just put it this way. You can't win them all. I mean, there's so many reasons why that just happened, but that was, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. This was one of those games that you kind of just lose some. It's a little disappointing. I'm agreeing with everyone. It's a little disappointing. Go ahead and tell me how angry and upset you are and wherever you're coming from. All that good, fun stuff of fun and anger. That was a tough one. I mean, look, you had a situation, and we'll get into everything, but that was a really tough game to handle. For the most part, it was boring, right? It almost seemed as if the Dodgers kind of felt like they had the division wrapped up. They had everything wrapped up, and they just didn't come into this game ready to play. I don't know if it's that. There's also other reasons, and we'll get more into it. Basically, Eddie Bauer, or Hank Bauer, or Ben Lauer, or something Lauer, Eric Lauer, whatever the heck this guy's name is. I don't even know anymore. He pitches really well against the Dodgers for some reason, but we're going to get into all that. And you know what? Why don't you just get everything out first? Tell me where you're coming from first, because that's the most important thing. And we got a huge news. Look, we finally got it to work. I am actually looking at the Periscope for ESPN Los Angeles right now. So ESPN Los Angeles gets to join in with me today on a day when... Is my microphone on? Muted? Not muted? Okay, so you should be able to hear me. Oh, yeah? You should be able to hear me. The microphone's on. Everything should be great. But we got ESPN. They joined on with us today. Finally got the Periscope to work. I can actually see Periscope right now. I can see people talking to me. I see everything that's happening. So it's very nice to see that we have all this new platform. ESPN LA joining on with Dodgers Nation for this postgame is fantastic for me. I'm sorry that it had to be on a game of a loss, but we just had so many great wins coming into this that it's not that bad. It's still a game and a half. It's still tied with Atlanta for home field advantage. And really, see why you got to play it like that. Just really, I know why. You know what? Sorry. There's so many things. I'll get back in a second. On the ESPN one. By the way, on ESPN Los Angeles, I produce, if you don't know, most of you probably do at this point, I am on Mason and Ireland. I am the producer for Mason and Ireland. And one time, Steve Mason has listened to this postgame show one time. And the one time that he listened, I forgot to turn my mic on for the first 2 to 3 minutes. That's the problem. See, I have my girlfriend right now that usually presses the buttons for me, and I was pressing it by myself, so I just forgot to put on the microphone. So this guy over here on the ESPN Periscope decided to tell me that my microphone wasn't on, kind of messing with my brain. So I'm like, oh no, did I forget to turn my microphone on again? Oh, guess what? I did. So thank you to ESPN LA listeners telling me that I'm not, that they can't hear me and messing with me right at the beginning. All right, so because of that, I don't even want to know where you're from today. I'm just going to get right into my stuff and then we'll get right into it. But tell me where you're from anyway, because I like you. I got some Victorville going on. I got a whole bunch of things happening for you. So let's get my topics up real fast, and this is what we're going to get into. But let's start off by saying we knew this was going to happen. But before that, I want to give a huge, huge shout out to Jaime Jarrín for getting in the Ring of Honor today. 62 years. Every year that the Dodgers have been in Dodger Stadium, Jaime Jarrín has been calling these games, or in LA that is. Jaime Jarrín has been calling every single game for the Dodgers since they moved to LA. 62 years. That's awesome. And they put him right next to Vince Scully up on the wall there, and it's with the microphone, and it looked great. Very, very happy for Jaime Jarrín and other guys too. Steve Garvey, Don Newcomb, and Fernando Valenzuela are all getting into the Legends of Dodgers baseball. They're going to get a plaque at Dodger Stadium, so good for them. That's a great thing. But I just want to say thank you, and I'm very proud to know that Jaime Jarrín has been with us for 62 years calling the games in Spanish. So great job. Love Jaime Jarrín. All right, so let's get into a little bit about the game itself. Ross Stripling did not pitch very well. He really only gave up one bad pitch. What it usually happens on a home run is that one bad pitch, right? So he had that one bad pitch that ended up giving him a 2-run shot. Basically, was the game winner for the Padres. But he only went 3 1/3. He didn't go very long, and when you're in the fight to make it into the rotation, when you have Hyunjin Ryu pitching extremely well, and you already stuck with your two co-aces with Kershaw and Buehler, you're fighting for that third and fourth spot. So Ross Stripling kind of struggling on Sunday against the Cardinals, and now kind of struggling again today on Friday against the Padres. He's pushing himself back into the bullpen, into that Alex Wood area where he's going to be in the bullpen coming out. And then, Rich Hill pitching tomorrow, it really is going to come down to now you have 8 games left. And you're going to get one more start at least from, or maybe 2 from Hill, maybe 2 from Stripling. But you're really trying to see you got Ryu pitching on Sunday, so he may get a second start as well in that, really trying to see who's going to be that third and fourth starter in the playoffs. And Ross Stripling pitching the way that he has on Sunday and now today, he is not going to be a starter. I just don't think they're going to be able to trust him to make it very much further because of that. And so now we're really starting, this is the time of year when you're going to start seeing things like this, where you're seeing guys trying to decide whether or not they're going to make it into the starting rotation, and this was not the outing that Ross Stripling wanted. He looked pretty good from the first 2 innings, and then it just kind of all started falling apart. And that's really but that's going to be the end of it. All right, I want to get into a little bit of stat fun because I want you guys to understand something. Eddie Bauer, Hank Lauer, the guy that pitched for the Padres, Joe Lauer, Eric Lauer, man, whatever the guy's name is, you're never going to hear from him again for the most part. This dude, for some reason, he's a lefty, and we're going to get into some crazy lefty stats, but he's a lefty, and he has 6 wins on the season now. 3 of those wins are against the Dodgers. He pitches incredibly against the Dodgers. And for some reason, there's always one of those guys, right? There's always one of those guys that just pitches so great against you. And this guy, I keep forgetting, Eric Lauer, he keeps pitching extremely well. He just has the Dodgers number. And so here's a couple stats just for Eric Lauer. Against the Dodgers this year, 3-0. He's given up total of 2 earned runs in his starts against the Dodgers. 3 starts, 3-0, 19 innings, 19 and a third innings, 2/3 innings pitched. Plus, that means he has a .92 ERA. He has a below 1 ERA against the Dodgers, and that's what you're going to see. So you're starting to think, oh, look, I guess any lefty can pitch against the Dodgers, right? No, that's not the case. Since August 24th, and this is the crazy stat that I saw, and I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. Because when you think about the Dodgers, especially this year, and even in years past, you think lefty can't hit him. Since August 24th, though, when they've been on this nice little hot streak coming through there, when they had to play the Diamondbacks and the Rockies a couple times, and they had to play the Cardinals. Let's forget about the Mets and let's forget about the Reds. But since then, the Dodgers are hitting .279 with a .358 on-base percentage and a .502 slugging percentage. That's first in the NL in average, first in Major League Baseball against left-handed pitchers in on-base percentage, and first in Major League Baseball in slugging, which obviously means first in Major League Baseball in OPS because all of that just kind of goes together. But then you have it gets even weirder after that, right? They're better on the road against lefties than they are against lefties at home. For some reason, at home, they're guaranteed to have above 500 on the road or at home this year, but they're only 3 games over 500 at home, and that's kind of insane to me. So, but on the road, at home, against a left-handed pitcher in this time since August 24th, they're hitting .253, which is 6th in the NL. Away from Dodger Stadium, they're batting .314, which is 1st in the NL. So this is where it starts getting crazy when you start getting into the playoffs, where you're gonna play Atlanta. You're tied after losing tonight. You're tied with Atlanta. If you somehow don't get home field advantage, you're actually looking better on the road against the lefty, which I know they have mostly righties there. I think just 1 or 2 guys on that staff is actually a lefty, and it's more of a righty-based starting rotation. But it's crazy. So if you go to say we have to go to Chicago and they have to play the lefties of Leicester, that's going to be you want to play him on the road according to these stats, which is bananas to me. But anyway, that's kind of the things I see. And let's not get upset about this game. Yes, they lost to a bad team. It's just kind of how we can get more into it. There's a lot more to that, and I'm sure you're going to answer all the questions, so I'm going to get those to you. But I also want to say that I really, really miss Joe Davis. I'm not going to say anything bad about who else is doing the games, but I really miss Joe Davis. It's just one of those things. When you're listening to Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser doing these games, you feel like you have a nice warm hug around you. The love that the two of them show each other, and they talk to each other, and they just play off each other so well, and they get Dieter Ruhl involved, and it's this whole like family up there in the booth, and you feel like you're a part of the game, and you're sitting in the booth with them. You just don't feel that when he's not there. And I know he's got to go do football for Fox, and he's got to do it for college football and whatever else games he's doing. But I just really miss him when he's gone. It stinks. I just want Joe Davis there every single game. At some point, we need to all have a sit down. All of you, all of everybody here on Dodgers Nation, let's all go have a sit down with Joe Davis and say, hey, we need you on the Dodger games. I know you got to do this football nonsense. The Dodgers need you. We need you. Let's stick together, all right? All right, that's my little rant about Joe Davis because I miss him. I want Joe Davis back. I want him back. All right, let's get into your questions and all your comments and all that fun stuff. You can take away my topics if you like, please. Thank you very much. And I'm going to start, because this is brand new, I'm going to start with the questions from the ESPN Los Angeles Periscope. So if you are watching anywhere else, you can now watch me on Twitter, Periscope, through at ESPN Los Angeles. Big deal for me, big deal for Dodger Nation. Really, really excited about it. Let's see what we got here. Does my shirt say Red Dream? Yes, it does say Red Dream. It might be backwards for you, but this is a 10. This is from the Dodgers Nation shop. It is a Red Dream. My red beard kind of goes with Justin Turner's red beard, so I like putting that in there with it. But you can find it on the DodgersNation.com/shop, I believe. So go get it there. You can get it in a whole bunch of different places, but this is a Red Dream. Joe Davis, too laid back. No, he's not too. He has some of the best calls ever. When he has that Puig game-winning home run shot, he's like, now it's Yasiel Puig's turn. And there was a Taylor. It was Taylor, way into the night to end the night. It was fantastic. That's the kind of stuff that you want as a Dodgers fan. I'm sorry that you feel that way. What is this? Tuts Miva? I feel sorry you feel that way, but I love Joe Davis. I think he's doing a great job for Dodgers, and all Dodgers Nation I know absolutely love him. All right, so let's see. Facebook, what do you have for me tonight? I know you got some anger, some vitriol. What do you got for me? Bellinger, 3-1 count, swung at ball 4. Kills us. No clutch in his game. We score there. Kenley comes in. Tim Stafford, that's an okay point. However, you're at 3-2, the type of guy that Bellinger is, and he's thinking straight fastball there. Kirby Yates has a nice, strong 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and that pitch just dropped underneath him and barely dropped out of the zone. He was seeing fastball. He thought that was fastball, and he was swinging away. And also, the type of guy that Bellinger seems to be, he shortens up at the plate when it gets to 2 strikes, and he did that. And you could see on that 2-strike count, he ended up striking out, but he shortened his swing up. He was just trying to get bat on ball and try and bring somebody home. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. Kirby Yates is a very, very good closer. He's been fantastic this year. That was one of the guys when it was towards near trade deadline that I really actually wanted to see Kirby Yates become a Dodger. If you were going to make a move for the bullpen, you wanted Yates to be here. So, that's that. Let's see. Give Axford the axe. No more. Brian Fisher. Okay, so here's the thing when it comes to that. When you're losing, you see different relievers than when you're winning. John Axford is not going to really be coming in when the game is either tied or... Excuse me. Let me get some water. When the game is tied or... you're in the lead, you're not going to see John Axford. You're not going to see Ryan Madson. Those guys are probably not making the postseason roster. That's just, there's too many guys in that bullpen to make it. You're probably only going to get 12 or 13. Most likely only 12. So I just don't think. So I just don't think that you're going to see him in those types of games. And when you do, this is when the bullpen starts giving up runs. And I have another stat about that. We had part of our stat fund was about that bullpen. The Dodgers bullpen in the last 25 games, when they have been playing pretty well, the last 25 games, 8-1, 7 saves, 2.45 ERA, first in baseball. First in baseball. So this bullpen that everybody hates is first in baseball over the last month. So that's got to tell you just a little bit that this is now a bullpen that it looks a lot better. All right, let's try to check it over here on Instagram. The Dodgers couldn't hit against Yates' pitches, kept swinging at pitches outside of the zone. Yeah, that's kind of how that works. I mean, when you're a good pitcher, look at whenever Clayton Kershaw pitches, you're swinging at pitches outside the zone because you know that he can place pitches. The same thing happens with Kirby Yates, or when you have a good reliever. He's a closer now for a reason. They got rid of Brad Hand, and he immediately went into that role, and that's where I think a lot of Padres fans actually wanted him to be. I'm not trying to say the Padres are good in any sense, but Kirby Yates is a good pitcher. Machado keeps disappointing. Yes, there's a couple guys saying this. Machado does keep disappointing. He came through in the bottom of the ninth. So I mean, there was that. But when there's runners in scoring position today, a lot of soft hit balls. He hasn't been coming through a lot recently, especially in the big spots. I'll give it up to him now though. For today, in the bottom of the ninth, he got a single that scored. That got another run in. I think it was Peterson. Yeah, they got Jock in. I think it was Peter. I forget who it was at this point, but I believe it was Jock. They got another run in, made it 5-3, and now you had, Jock was at the plate. Yeah, whatever. But you have the ability to get the tying run at the plate. So he came up huge there. You would have liked to have seen more, and he ended up at third base anyway. It was 2 outs. It's just too much. Stop making excuses, man. Dodgers lost to a minor league team. Roberts refuses to play small ball. Mike Misty Vidal, I understand what you're saying there, and I understand that you're angry, but you have to see what you've been watching over the last 2 weeks. They have been playing better small ball. Some tonight. Look, Justin Turner had 2 errors tonight. 2 errors tonight. Plus, he's had 4 over his last 3 games. This is not typical Justin Turner. So I don't know if it has something to do with him getting hit in the wrist a couple days ago or whatever it is, but you're going to lose games. I'm not trying to make excuses. They lost. It was upsetting. I'm not happy about it. They're 1.5 now up on the Rockies, and they're tied with Atlanta. So that stinks. But they've also been pitching fantastic, and they didn't use the bullpen pieces that you're going to be seeing. So tomorrow, when Rich Hill gets in the mound, hopefully he throws a gem, and you use the bullpen that works better for them. So, you'll see. It'll all change. 1 loss is just 1 loss. Please don't lose one more than 1 to the Dodgers, Cybernetics. To the Padres. I agree. This is how it's been going. Look, so you take 3 of 4 from Colorado, then you lose 2 of 3 to the Mets. Then you take 2 of 3 from Atlanta, and then you lose 2 of 3 to the Reds. Then you take 3 of 4 from the Cardinals. Then you take 2 of 3 from the Rockies again, and then now you lose again to the Padres. They're playing up and down to their competition. Luckily, you don't see bad teams in the playoffs. So if they're playing up to their competition always, and they're playing like they should be playing, then yes. Why was Rich Hill moved to Saturday, Dodgers 35-10? You know what? I don't have the exact reason. I didn't hear what Dave Roberts had to say about it. But my guess is that you were trying to get Stripling in, move Rich Hill down just a little bit, have Ryu pitch on Sunday, and then against the Diamondbacks, you have Buehler, and then you have Kershaw and Buehler, and then you're pushing everybody back a little bit, so you maybe don't have to use Buehler and Kershaw a second time leading up to the playoffs. So it's all about getting Kershaw and Buehler up against the right guys and not pitching against San Francisco, hopefully. And they don't need to, and they can let them rest a little bit longer and be ready to go for the playoffs. So it's just kind of moving everybody around to get to their specific spot. Because, and also Ross Stripling only pitched around 3 innings on Sunday, and he's only pitched around 3 innings tonight, so he's not really getting a lot of innings. I said it before, you can't go 162-0. That's right, Andrew Martinez, absolutely. You're going to lose games. They have 8 games left. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to upset everybody, but they're probably going to lose another one. Maybe 2, maybe 3. As long as they make the playoffs and they beat the good teams and when it matters, when they beat Arizona and they beat up on these teams and they beat San Francisco, they're not a good team, but they are hot leading into the playoffs. That's what's matter. I'm Pickle Rick. Oh, that's a great name. I'm Pickle Rick. When can we get a guest appearance from Mason? You know what? I for security reasons and for other reasons, I'm not allowing a Mason into my little room where I have a nice ESPN LA backdrop and I'm in the corner of my bedroom, with a camera going. I don't see bringing somebody into my room with a camera going as a good idea, Pickle Rick. So sorry about that. Maybe one day on Instagram. It's up to him too. If he doesn't want to come on, if he wants to come on, I'm always willing to have Mason on. Mason is the best. So let's see. I'm out. Take it easy, Greg. Hopefully Turner removes his head from his Doug Crosby. Sorry, man. I'm sorry you got to go. It's a bad loss. Come back tomorrow. We'll all be better. Everybody will be happy. They'll win tomorrow. Let's just say that. Hill will win tomorrow. So, all right, let's see. Dodgers, let's go back to ESPN LA. Day off yesterday means they can skip fifth starter Kershaw on Sunday. No, Kershaw is not on Sunday. Kershaw is going to be probably Monday against. That's why you're moving every round. So here's your starting rotation for the weekend. You have it was Stripling tonight, Rich Hill tomorrow, and then Hyun-Jin Ryu will be on Sunday. And then you'll have Kershaw on Monday and Buehler on Tuesday. And that should be the last time you see Kershaw and Buehler unless you absolutely need him to get into the playoffs, one of those guys. And that's when it starts getting interesting. That's when it starts getting fun, dare I say it. Might be a little bit look, I want to just run away with the division. But if I'm going to the last day, it's anxious and it's hard to watch. But it's also, it's fun at the same time, so I'm not too sad about it. I just want them to run away with it. Don't get me wrong, but that's what's. Besides, he's not in the best shape after the game. Pretty late. Tell that to two Astros and Sox. We're mediocre. You guys can come on here and tell me why we're mediocre and all that. Like, you lose to a bad team, I get it. You start thinking, but teams lose. The Rockies lose. The Cubs lose. The Red Sox lose. These teams don't just. They're not going 162-0. They still are going to be fine. They'll be right around 90 wins. And that was a couple weeks ago. People were like, whoa, 90 wins, you're crazy. No way you can hit 90 wins. But you know what? You can, and that's probably still going to happen. So one loss, I guarantee you they're not freaking out. We don't need to freak out either. Let's see. If we make the playoffs, does Stripling make the starting rotation? Mike and Tiff. Look, no, I don't think so. I think he's pitched himself out of the starting rotation. And that's what we've been talking about for the last 2 to 3 months. I know ESPN Los Angeles hasn't been here with me, but this is what we've been talking about for 2 to 3 months now that we've been doing this, is that it all matters who's pitching the best in September. And Ross Stripling has had multiple chances this week alone to prove that he's willing to, that he can be in the starting rotation, and he hasn't. So he's either going to be moved into the bullpen or he's not going to make the postseason roster, period. So let's do that real fast. I know you guys all want to do, I know this is all fun for everybody. Maybe it's just fun for me and we did it the other day, but let's do this now. I like doing this stuff. Let's talk about postseason roster for the pitchers, and then we're going to do the batters right after that. You can tell me if you disagree, agree. I got everybody up here. I'm going to go over here to Facebook and see what you guys think as well. All right. Let's see. So in the bullpen, the guys that are automatic in the bullpen are Kenley Jansen, Kenta Maeda, and Scott Alexander. Those three pretty much set. Let's just stop there for a moment. Go over to the pitchers, to the starting rotation. Kershaw, Buehler, Hill, Ryu are probably solid. I gotta say, Ryu's pitched his ass off. He's probably solid. So those four guys, then Kenley, Maeda, and Alexander, you're already at 7. You're probably only keeping 12 with how many hitters there are. So let's say there's 12, you're at 7, you only have 5 more. Now you have to choose between Rosscup, who's pitched fantastic. So I'm saying Rosscup is in. I'm saying Rosscup is in. I'm saying Ferguson is in. I'm saying Floro is in. Now it's going to come down to you have to choose between Alex Wood, Ross Stripling, Pat Venditti, Tony Cingrani, Pedro Baez, Josh Fields, Julio Urias, John Axford, Yimi Garcia, Ryan Madsen. I don't think most of those guys make it. I'm saying Pat Venditti gets in. He pitched great on there. I'm saying Pat Venditti gets in there. It's for 11. And I think Cingrani pitches his way back in. And I think either Cingrani or Wood. And I think they want Wood to be able to have a longer relief guy. So I think it could be Cingrani over Venditti, but I think Wood gets in there as the 12th guy. So Wood would be 11, and then Venditti or Cingrani is probably going to be your guy. It's really, we need to see more from Cingrani. You want him there. He's been there. He was good, but you haven't seen enough out of him yet to be a reliable lefty reliever in that pen. So I think that's your starting rotation. That's your pitching rotation. bullpen, everything. And I think that's 12 guys. And I don't think, and if you do go 13, then you use Venditti or Cingrani, one of those two. Now, 13 guys on the bench, right? Okay, so the automatics. Let's do this again. The automatics not going anywhere. You got Justin Turner, Manny Machado, Cody Bellinger, Chris Taylor, Yasmani Grandal, Austin Barnes, Kike Hernandez, Matt Kemp, Yasiel Puig, Jock Peterson, and then Max Muncy. That's 11. I haven't even mentioned Brian Dozier, David Freese, Alex Verdugo, Andrew Tolles, Tim LeCastro, Chase Utley, and Kyle Farmer. Now, you can cut Kyle Farmer right now. Not going to happen. You can cut LeCastro. Not going to happen. They don't need the speed. Andrew Tolles hasn't played enough. He hasn't really done much. You can cut him right there. So now it's between Utley, Verdugo, Dozier, and Freese for those last two spots. Dozier is most likely making this roster. He's in the right. I'm gonna put Dozier in there because I think he's gonna. And I also think it's Freese. I'm going Dozier and Freese, and I think Utley and Verdugo don't make the postseason roster. That's gonna be me. I think Dozier and Verdugo, or is it Verdugo and Utley, are off. I think those are the two guys. So then your 12 and 13 guys are Brian Dozier and David Freese, and that's what we're gonna end up going with. So Verdugo gets on every time. He should get a push to start. He should, but he's young, and they're gonna use him next year. Verdugo is I just don't see him making this roster because you have to move somebody, and I don't know who you move. So there you go. There's your 25-man roster on the playoffs if it came down to me. So let's try this one more time so you guys all hear it, all right? Batting: Turner, Machado, Bellinger, Taylor, Grandal, Barnes, Kike, Kemp, Puig, Peterson, Muncy, Dozier, Freese, Kershaw, Buehler, Hill, Ryu, Wood, Kenley, Maeda, Rosscup, Ferguson, Alexander, Floro, and I'm going to go Venditti over Cingrani. So there you go. Those are my 25. Now, I'm going to start reading all your comments. I want to know who you think I got wrong there. Tell me what you think. I want to know if you think I got it wrong or if you got it right. Let's see. Baez makes it in the postseason roster this year. Call me crazy. He's pitched well the last 2 months. He has. But who do you want to take off, Christian? That's the real question, because I would take any of those other guys over Baez. And we've all seen Baez in the playoffs. I don't think we need to see that again. Let's see what else we got here. Instagram. Hello. We got some other things that I can't read. I was at Dodger Stadium, and could we please get rid of Axford? I mean, he was pitching well. He got hurt. He comes in. You have guys. So let's go to talk about that for a second. Sorry, I was coughing, so let me get a little bit of water. All right. So of those guys, Cingrani, Baez, Fields, Urias, Axford, Garcia, and Madsen, those guys are basically your guys in losses. When you're losing and you don't want to use the Maedas and the Rosscups and the Fergusons, and you want to use the guy that you want to save their arms for when you need them the most, you're going to see Baez, you're going to see Fields, you're going to see Urias and Axford and Madsen and Garcia, because they're already losing, and you're kind of just assuming, you're hoping that they can just get you to the next inning without giving up anything or too much. So that's just how that's going to be, right? You're going to see the guys, and that's where the runs are going to kind of pile up, and the bullpen looks worse because they're already losing, and they use the guys. They're not using the main guys. So they're not even going to be on the postseason roster, so you're not going to Panic Meter move any decimal points today? No. It's still, I think, what did I move it down to? It bounces all around. It was like a 1.5. I'm still not worried. I was always at a 3. I probably should have just stayed at a 3, but they were just playing so well that I couldn't just stay at a 3. Wait, did we answer why in the world we only had a run for most of this game? Lisa Tehran, yes, we did answer it, but I'll tell you again anyway. We answered it. The reason was because Eddie Bauer, I keep saying it wrong. Eddie Bauer, whatever the hell his name is. Eric Lauer, he has pitched fantastically against the Dodgers, and he's 3-0 with a below 1 ERA against the Dodgers. He only went 5, but then they kept going lefties, and they couldn't do any more. So that was basically your reasoning. And then the runners in scoring position fell off. Just how it goes sometimes. Some guys just own the other guys. That's unfortunately how it works. Let's see. Cut Utley. You're not cutting him. I was waiting for that one. Roberts blows. It took one game. For the last week, who was what? It's Yo Pops. It's Yo Pops. How have you felt about Roberts over the last 2 weeks, over the last 9 games, how have you felt it when they went 8-1? How did you feel about Dave Roberts? Were you still saying that? And then you got another one, Island Girl Benz. Look at that. Now you come and say Roberts rocks. So you got rocks, socks. Which one do you want? That's just how it is. It's always you're gonna blame Roberts for the offense not hitting. That's on the game when they just came off with putting up a huge runs, putting up 5 to 8 runs every game. That's just not how it works. I'm sorry. Utley off for sure, but not fond of Freese. Freese is a guy that is going to be somebody that, he's been there. He had a game-winning home run in the World series-clinching home run. That's just not something you give away, and you brought him in for a reason because he hits lefties really well. So Freese is going to be on that roster. That's just how it's going to be. Let's see what we got here. Let's go over to Facebook because I wasn't over there for a little bit. Let's see. Love Roberts got too many errors. I was just thinking the same thing. Let's see. They're not taking the Padres seriously. If we get swept by them and the Cardinals and Colorado sweeps Arizona, what's going to happen with the series in Arizona and Giants? Here's the thing. Arizona's given up. They're done. They're out of it. They're pretty much, what are they, 6 back now? They're still 6 back. They're done. But they're going to still play hard, and they're going to they want to take out the Rockies. They want to take out the Dodgers. So they're going to still play hard, and teams want to be the spoiler. The bad teams want to be the spoiler, but the Dodgers just need to come through. They will. They will. Their bats have been much, much better, and you'll see it more. What have you done for me lately? That's baseball for you. That's 100% what baseball is, and that's a great way to put it because that's how everybody feels. It's living and dying by one game. You've all been on such this high over the last 9 games, and now as soon as it goes down a little bit, everyone goes on that low again. It's too bad. I mean, you understand you're going to lose games. They're going to lose probably 3 games. At least 3 games over the next, including tonight, over the next 9. So there's only 8 left, but that's how it is. Even A-Rod said you go with the best 9 guys. No need to change the lineup so much. A-Rod can say a lot of things, but that's not how this front office works. They don't care what A-Rod says. They don't care what Mario Cerna says. I know you didn't say anything, but I'm just saying random names. They don't care what that crazy Gio says. They don't care what Bergman Greg says. They don't care what Frankie Velez says. They don't care what Clint Evans says. They don't care what the real FRG says. They don't care what AJ Gonzalez says. They know in their mind that they are going to play the best matchups that they think are the best matchups. Whether we agree with them or not, they do. And they know what they're doing here. And this is the problem. They put Kike in the leadoff spot today, and they don't play Chris Taylor, who's been leading off against lefties for all the time now. And you don't put him, and you don't do that. So you're doing that because you want to see what Kike does in the leadoff spot, and you want to see you don't play David Freese, or you do play David Freese. Like you play guys around because you want to see what they can do leading towards the playoffs. You want to get them all hot at the right time, and they want to see how you do in these situations. Now is not really the time to do that, but that's how they feel because they have a 2.5 game lead. They feel they can lose that game and be okay. But here's the thing. They'll be fine. We've been saying this for a long time. They're in first. They have a 1.5 lead, and they're tied with Atlanta, and that's just how it is. Tate is hard not to love. Look, Taylor has been fantastic recently. He had that 4 days off, and since then he's been great. And so you're going to see a lot more of Taylor, I think, coming up. Let's see. Especially since they seem to struggle in Arizona, and they have always struggled in San Francisco. Yes, they do struggle in San Francisco, but I think they'll be okay. I think it's a little bit different this year. Let's see. Let's go over to YouTube. Stop that. We will win 9 of the next 8. That's right, William Wine Jr. We're going to win every game plus that. So you're looking at social feed through phones. Why don't mirror audio? Help my boy out. That's bananas. I'm looking at social feeds only on Instagram. So if you want to know what's actually happening here, I have one phone. One phone is my Instagram feed. I don't know if you can actually see that. Hey, Instagram. So you have my one phone is the Instagram. Everything else is on my computer. So I'm actually looking on my computer at 4 different screens. Actually 5. I have Facebook, ESPN LA, Periscope. I have the Dodgers Nation Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. All on one computer screen. I just have to bounce around between all that. Besides that, and then I have the one phone for Instagram, and my actual phone is my camera that goes through another program that puts everything together so that all platforms see the same thing at the exact same time. That's called being technologically sound, which I'm usually not because I'm very technologically stupid usually. We're one game back of Arizona with this loss. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right, Brian Fisher. We are game back, but it's, they'll be fine. They're going to win. They're still playing Philly right now. So they still got 2 games against Philly. That Philly, if they want to get into this playoff race again, they need to win these games. So Philly's all in. And then Philly has Colorado right after that. So they still got a shot. Please, Los Angeles is playoffs in every sport. I live from Pennsylvania. Dodgers, Rams, and Lakers are or bust. LA Dodgers for life. That's what I'm talking about, Stan. In Pennsylvania, you got more love for the Dodgers than anybody else. Who's our leadoff guy? Brittany Gallegos. Who's our leadoff guy? We don't really. It depends on who's pitching. And for the most part, let's assume for the most part, if it's a lefty, Chris Taylor is probably going to be your leadoff guy. If it's a righty, Jock Peterson is going to be your leadoff guy. It just depends on matchups, and that's including in the playoffs. They're going to do it in the playoffs again. Be ready for it because it will happen. Manny needs to step up, not when we are 3 behind and 1 guy in scoring position. Yes, Manny has become. This is what's been happening with Manny Machado. And you know what? Let's do this a little bit too because we've been talking about this a little bit also. Manny Machado comes through when the game is no longer in doubt. He'll hit a solo home run when you're up big or down big. He will get a hit to get another guy in when you're down by 3. He'll do things in the bottom of the 9th when there's nobody on, or that it scores a run when you're down, or he gets a hit when it's in the early innings and it's not it's important, but it doesn't do anything. He'll be just moving guys over. Manny Machado did this in Baltimore as well. So let's think about this for a second. He had on his team, he had like 30, 25 home runs when he left. The next closest guy had like 10, 12. And it was a very low number. He had all the RBIs. They were losing games by 10. They have over 100 wins. They have over 100 losses over there. They have like 109, 110 losses, something like that in Baltimore. And that was when he was there too. They're down so much that you can pitch to Manny Machado. You can just throw whatever you want at him. If he hits a home run, oh well, he hit a home run. If it's a 2-run home run, oh well, he hit a 2-run home run. You're still already up by 5. You can go after Machado when he's in Baltimore because he's on a bad team, and you can do whatever. You can throw any pitch that you want to him. In LA, when he's got Justin Turner in front of him and Matt Kemp or Yasiel Puig or Yasmani Grandal or Cody Bellinger or somebody, Max Muncy, somebody behind him that can also hit 30 home runs, you're not going to get the same pitches. They have to pitch him a little bit better. And so he's not seeing the pitches as well because they're not just throwing him right down the middle anymore. It's too bad, but that's just kind of how it is. Rafael Santiago, Greg, Gavin Lux appears to be the stud the front office thought he would be. What are your thoughts? Gavin Lux has looked fantastic, and they won down in Double-A Tulsa. They won. They won the whole thing. So it's great. And yes, Tim Shaganoff, I know I bounced around. I apologize. But yes, Machado is a fantastic defender. He does some amazing things. But Gavin Lux is going to be the real deal. Maybe not next year. He's probably a 2020 guy would be my guess. Maybe a midseason call-up, September call-up next year in 2019. But he's not there yet. Unless he just completely balls out in spring training, then we're probably not going to see Gavin Lux. We need a second baseman, though. He can play it. So there's a lot of guys in the minors that can all move forward. Slump, yes, Ignacio. Manny Machado is in a slump. There's nothing else. He has dropped his batting average has dropped considerably. His on-base percentage has dropped considerably. Everything is dropping. He's not even hitting for as much power as he was. He gets a couple solo home runs here and there. So he's had, I think, 10 or 11 home runs with the Dodgers alone. But a lot of them are solo. I love Manny. I just think that this is probably the end of Manny Machado in LA after this season is over because of that. Puig is better at 8 or up in the lineup. You know what? I love Brittany. I love Puig in that 8 spot. I think he's great in that 8 spot. He does so many big things there because you have to pitch to him. That's a guy that's got he got 22 home runs now in the 8th spot. That's a huge thing to have there that's going to get you to your pitcher spot and move forward. So, yeah, I love him there. Unless it's Austin Barnes pitching on a Kershaw day, then I want Austin Barnes in that 8th spot. This guy said Turner, not Machado. Oh, sorry. You're talking about Turner? No, I don't think you can't. Whoa. I don't know what you're looking at. Because he had a little bit of a rough game today, Justin Turner, since he came back from the DL, has been the best hitter in all of baseball. Not just on the Dodgers, all of baseball. He is nowhere near a slump. He's got like an 1100 OPS. He's got like over 400 on base percentage. Dude is just killing the ball right now. Over 400 batting average since then. No, absolutely not in a slump whatsoever. Maybe defensively, those 4 errors in 3 games, that's a defensive slump. That's the only thing I can say for him. I love the Dodgers, but I doubt we stand a chance against the Red Sox. Baseball is a crazy game, Gio. So when you get into the playoffs, it's a total crapshoot. And what's going to happen is we don't even know. You saw that the Cleveland Indians had the best record in baseball and ended up losing in the first round last year. You have teams that are wild card teams win the World Series. You have teams that win. Look at the Seattle Mariners that year. They won 116 games. They went out to the Yankees. They went out early. It doesn't matter how many wins you have in the regular season. It's a whole brand new season once you actually get into the playoffs, and then it's a crapshoot. It really comes down to pitching and who's pitching the best, and it's bullpen. So you got to hope that, and that's what pushed the Dodgers through into the World Series last year. Brandon Morrow coming through out of nowhere. The pitching staff looking great throughout and just running through the playoffs until we got into the World Series. And even then, they pitched great in the World Series for the most part. They should have won a couple more games in there, but they just, Kenley gave up a home run, but we're not getting it. We're not doing it. Not doing it. Let's see. I got one guy saying, I think Verdugo makes it over Dozier. Maybe. Kick it with Kush. It's possible. Dozier has been really slowing, except for the other game. He started to hit again. He didn't really look good again today. Dozier is a problem. He looks like Curtis Granderson. So in that sense, I think that Dozier, there's a possibility, and that's why I have him as that 12th or 13th guy. Verdugo would have to push his way in there, and he has to get some starts to do that. I don't know if they're going to give him the starts, but they will give the starts to Dozier. So that's it. Why do we have trouble with bad teams, Cray J07? You play up and down to competition sometimes. This is my best response for you. You play up to your competition, you play down to your competition. And San Diego, here's the thing. They have actually played really, really well against San Diego over this season. They were 12-4 leading into this game. They're now 12-5 against San Diego this season. 12-5. So it's not like it's a normal thing for them to be losing to San Diego. This was a bad loss, but it was a loss that happens sometimes. Only 5 out of the last 17 times. I mean, it's going to happen every once in a while. You have to assume with those stats and the stats that I've been even seeing really, you're going to see that you would assume they're going to win the next 2 games. I almost can not guarantee, but guarantee a win on Sunday from Hyun-Jin Ryu. And I really, really believe that Rich Hill will be very good against the Padres tomorrow. He's pitched, he's 1-1 against the Padres this year, and his last start, he gave up 0 runs, and I think he went 6 innings. So Rich Hill has pitched really well against this exact team, and that was in August. So it was just a month ago. So assume that they're going to pitch. I'm going with that they're going to win the next 2 games, and then everybody that's getting all scared and thinking we're cocky and they're all, oh no, this is a terrible time. Once they win these next 2 games and Arizona wins a game here or there and probably Atlanta loses a game and they're right back to where they were, we all calm down again, and it just really comes down to just getting through the end of the season and into the playoffs. Once we get into the playoffs, that's when it really, really matters. All right, just quick announcement real fast before I get right back into your questions, because I know there's a whole bunch of these more going on. I'm going to be with you guys as much as humanly possible, as many games as possible post-game. I will not be with you guys tomorrow night because it is my girlfriend's daughter's birthday and family comes first. I was going to be with you every other game. I don't think I'm going to be with you on Tuesday next week because my daughter's birthday, my 17-year-old daughter's birthday, it was just on Thursday, and I'm taking her out to dinner that day. She lives with her mom, and I wanted to be able to take her out, and the day that she can do it is on Tuesday next week, so I'm choosing, again, family first. So please don't be upset with me, but I'll be with you every other night that I can possibly be with you, and the goal, and I think it's going to happen, me, ESPN LA, Dodgers Nation, we are going to be with you every single post game in the playoffs. I guarantee it. We will make that happen. absolutely make that happen. All right, let's see. What else do we have here on Facebook? I got shout out to the Blue Crew. We will do it. Just being positive. Mario Cerna, that's what I'm saying. Be positive. Be happy. Be positive. That's what we think is going to happen. All right, if we get into the playoffs, there are no guarantees. No, Ryan, there's not. But right now, they have a 98% that they're going to get into the playoffs and like a 21% that they're going to win the World Series. I think you have to believe. I mean, you don't have to. You can believe whatever you like, but they are going to get to the postseason. Dozier has more experience. I'd go with him over Verdugo. The Tina, most likely that's why you're probably going to go with him, but he's just not hitting. And Verdugo is. I don't know if Verdugo gets in because of that, but it's possible. Those 12 and 13th spots, and we can do this one more time if you like, just real fast for the batting. Turner, Machado, Bellinger, Taylor, Grandal, Barnes, Kike, Kemp, Puig, Peterson, Muncy. That's 11. They're automatically in. They are in. No set. It's done. You have 2 spots left after that. Dozier, Freese, Verdugo, Utley are really your choices in that situation. You have other guys like Tolles and LeCastro and Farmer, but they're not getting in. So it's Verdugo, Utley, Dozier, Freese. I'm taking Utley out, especially for this first round. Taking him out, not going to go there. I don't think he gets in. I think it's really Dozier, Freese, and Verdugo. Freese, I think, has been good enough that he's going to be there and hits lefties well enough. So Freese will be there. Then it's between Dozier and Verdugo. I think you got to go Dozier. I'd love to see Verdugo. I just don't think he's there just yet. I think Dozier is that guy. All right, let's see. Shout out to my wife, Amy Moda. It's her birthday, and Dodgers is her favorite team. Happy birthday, Amy Moda. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Happy birthday. My birthday was just a couple of weeks ago, September 1st. So we are all Virgos. Virgo babies. All right, see, I was at the game. Machado has 2 at-bats where he hit the ball 20 feet. Yep, Kevin, you're absolutely right. He has been hitting soft little ground balls recently, and that's tough to watch, especially from him. That's not what you're expecting from Verdugo or from Machado. He's supposed to be doing so much more, and it's crazy to me that he's becoming this guy. I thought he was going to be just so much better, and he just hasn't been. Baez mixing his secondary pitches. He's on my 25. All right, Dodgers gang. Again, we're going to do that. Baez. Who are you taking off, Dodgers gang? I'm going to try and come back to you. I'm going to try and remember to come back to you. Who are you taking off between Kershaw, Buehler, Hill, Ryu, Wood, Kenley, Maeda, Roscup, Ferguson, Alexander, Floro, Venditti, and I'm leaving off Cingrani in that. So who are you taking off? That's the most important thing. Whoa, Barrios Manuel, what are you talking about? Release Seager? No, that's absolutely bananas. He's injured. He's fine. I got a Dozier and Freese over here. That's right. Axelford? No, Axford is not getting on. Who do you think they will leave after season? I think they keep most guys. I don't know if they keep. For a while, I thought they were going to re-sign Dozier. I'm not sure if that's going to happen anymore. Unless he's huge in the playoffs, I don't know if that's going to happen. He completely fell off. He had a terrible year all around. And I think another guy and I don't think Machado sticks around. I think they re-signed Ryu because I think that even though he is a free agent, I think they re-sign him because you can probably get him pretty cheap because he's injured a lot. And I think that you're going to re-sign Puig because of the arbitration year. A lot of guys will be coming back. You're going to see a lot of these guys are going to come on the cheap because they're young too. So you're going to see a lot of guys come back, but a lot of guys not so much. Why 5th spot Machado? I'm not sure what that means because Machado is making the rosters no matter what. I feel like Machado was amazing for his team, and it's harder to shine in a team full of talented athletes. Lizbeth, that's a good point. That's what we were talking about earlier. Machado was on a team where he was the star, the best player, and they were down. They were terrible. They were an absolutely awful, terrible team. He should not be in the 5th spot. He is a different guy than he is here because you can pitch. He gets better pitches in Baltimore than he's going to get than he's going to get here. So it's too much. No, Machado is the 3 spot. Machado is your number 3 hitter. I know he hasn't been hitting very well, but he is your number 3 hitter. Turner and Machado 2-3 is perfect, and that's how it should be. You have to remember that Turner's getting better pitches because Machado is behind him. The protection for Turner is Machado, so you need him in that 3 spot behind Turner. It's very important. Let's see. Baez mixing in his secondary pitches. No, he can shine even with other great athletes. He can, especially defensively, he can, but he's just not doing that. So we can say that as much as you want, but until that actually happens, it's just not how it is. He's not hitting when it matters, and it hasn't since he got here. I've seen him strike out more with bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth than I'm seeing him getting a hit with a lead or to take the lead in the bottom of the ninth. He doesn't do it. He hasn't done it. He can. He has the ability to do it, but he has not been doing it. Let's see. Release Dozier? No. Dozier's not going to be resigned. I agree. I just don't think he's going to be. Yeah, at times, but not worth the money. No. Island Girl Benz, you're absolutely right. He is not worth the money, and he's not. He's going to demand $300 to $400 million, and most likely the Phillies will give it to him. The Yankees, I can see giving it to him. Maybe, I don't know. Their shortstop, third baseman tandem is pretty damn good. But when you can get a top 5 player in the game, you do it. So I can see them going there too. Let's see. Let's go over here to Facebook. Machado is only 26. Re-sign him. He's barely entering his prime. Yes, you do if the price is right, Joe. I don't think they don't have. He's going to demand too much money, and that's what we're talking about. Excuse me. Excuse me. Bless me. That's the problem, and this is what we're talking about. Is that he has 26. He's a top 5 player. He's one of the best players in baseball. One of the best offensive players in baseball. He's going to demand too much money. It's just too bad. I mean, he's $340 million. The Dodgers are not going to spend on him. And unfortunately, that's why that happens. Let's see. Machado or Harper? In that sense, I take Machado. Harper's actually had been starting to look a little bit better, but I take Machado. Machado does everything much better. Harper he goes through these giant slumps that Machado usually doesn't. Machado's not playing all that well right now, but I don't think that I would rather have Machado over Harper. Dozier wanted to be a Dodger for 4 years. Randy, you're right. He absolutely did, but it just never got there, and you finally do get him, and he's not the same guy. And that's what. Thank you for not really. No, really, come on, bless me. I appreciate that. All right, let's see what YouTube's always popping. Let's see what we got here. Bless you. All right, thank you. Another one from Brittany Gallegos. Appreciate that. For the rest of the season, can you please ban all next season type questions? I wish I could, Andrew. I really wish I could, but you know what? This is the greatness of this platform, is that you can all come on here and ask me whatever you want. I will answer whatever you want. And no matter what it is, I'm happy to answer it. And you don't get that anywhere else. And that's why this is so great, Andrew, is that we can have this. And so if you want to ask me about next year, I don't really want to answer because it's too early, but I'll do my best to answer it anyway. All right, Matthew Udovitz. Machado, 10 years, $250 million. If he takes 10 years, $250 million, you'd take that deal. Because $25 million is a steal for Manny Machado. He's not going to do it. If Turner bats 2, Machado 3, who's 1 and who's 4? It depends on the matchup. If it was my choice, I would have Taylor at the top. I would have Taylor, Turner, Machado, Bellinger, Muncy as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that doesn't say anything bad about Puig or Grandal or, any of these other Kike or anybody. Those are better in those 6, 7, 8 spots. It really, then you're talking, but I would rather see Taylor leading off. He's what you want there, or even Jock. I'll do that. I'll let that happen, or not let, I would like to see that. Taylor against the lefty, Jock against the righty in the leadoff spot. That I'm totally fine with. Besides that, Machado, Turner, Machado, and Bellinger. I want Bellinger in that 4 spot. Even though he didn't come through there, I still want Bellinger there, or Muncy, or somebody like that. But most likely, I do like Bellinger there. Let's see. Let's go over to Periscope here. Machado better than Harper, but apples and oranges. Infielder versus outfielder. Yes, absolutely. Apples and oranges. 100%. They do. There's a whole bunch of things that they do, but yes, you're talking about offense versus defense. If you're talking about just their offense, they're not apples and oranges. They both are power hitters, so not so much. Let's see. Island Girls, but no apples and oranges. They both still do. Do they not? All right. How are you doing this, Island Girl Benz and Jaffa? Are you just copying each other? Or are you sitting next to each other? Because you're saying the exact same thing at the exact same time, you have to be sitting either next to each other, or there's a copy and paste thing going on here. I'd like to be in on the secret here. Whatever you got going on, I like it. Keep it going. It doesn't bother me. And where were you? Let's see. Someone wanted to change somebody. I was seeing if I could find them. No, I don't think so. All right. So I only have a few minutes left here. What do I got? Let me get some stuff here on Instagram. Way better show than that joke. I'm not going to say his name, but hey, I appreciate it, Hector. This is where it's a better show because this is where you can just come and talk, and we can talk about whatever it is that you want. That's what it is. So that's why you want to come here and have it. Geo, literally, you guys I see, this is also what I love. I love that you guys are talking to each other. Please continue to talk to each other because I'm happy to jump in on the conversations, but have conversations with each other. We're all Dodger fans. We're all Dodgers Nation. We all want to talk. We want to speak to each other. Enjoy each other. Hit comment on the other person's on Facebook. Right? Comment to them. Like their stuff and get angry with their stuff. Actually have conversations with other people. That's the way to do it. Everyone needs to tune into the Berman Greg post-game show, Dodgers Nation show. Dear AM, are you going to get retired like MGK? Greg Berg equals Eminem. Oh, that's right. This is my kill shot. Apparently, this is my kill shot. So that's fine. Oh, no, my camera's falling. Sorry about that. My camera was falling. All right, this is awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Ignacio. And also, you're welcome to your wife. Happy birthday again to her. Puig isn't going anywhere. Nope, they are absolutely not. He's not going anywhere. Is it worth signing a top pitcher or Machado's? All right, see, there you go. There's a good question. I think your pitching rotation is good. The Dodgers pitching rotation is good, and it can be good for a long time. And they have a lot of good players in the minors that are going to come up and look good too. Dustin May is looking fantastic. He's still not there yet, but he's looking really, really good. I think they still think that Julio Urias is going to be a starter next year. He's in the bullpen right now because there's no way he's going to get anywhere near the starting rotation. But I think that Urias could be in that starting rotation next year. So already you have Kershaw, who's absolutely your number one starter. Buehler is your absolute number two starter, and really your 1A and 1B type guys. Rich Hill will probably be back, and he'll be in the starting rotation when he's in and out. Stripling should be better to be in the starting rotation next year. If you're bringing in Urias, if you're bringing back Ryu, Maeda's going to want to go back to the rotation again. You have a ton of pitchers. I don't think you really need to do too much of that. If you can get a top end starter, if you can get a Jacob deGrom, yes, of course. However much, he's probably going to stay with the Mets, and that's probably what it's going to be. Joe Bennett, you said, I want to know what Greg thinks. I'm going to look for your last comment, but I believe... Oh, there you are. Joe Bennett. If the Dodgers meet the Rockies in the playoffs, do the Dodgers let Kenley Jansen pitch in Colorado? That's a great question. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Joe, I found your question now. Will they let I think you have to. I mean, right now... Oh, God, when it comes to it, I think he wanted to pitch in Colorado this time, but they didn't want to. But if you're playing Colorado in the postseason and you have to play 2 to 3 games in Colorado, yes, he'll do it. I don't think you want him to. I would like to say no, but I think when it's do or die there, if he thinks that he can't do it, then you don't. If the doctors say don't do it, then no. Then no, you don't. If the doctors say no, then you don't, and you live with what you got. If they say it's okay, then yes, you do. But it's just scary. Look, he's gone to Colorado before. I know this has happened twice there, but he's gone there before and been fine. So you can't just say, the most important thing is his health, and we're not going to let that go anywhere. Most important thing is his health, but in this situation, as long as he's okay with it and his doctors are okay with him pitching in the postseason in that weather, then yes, you let him do it. But I want the doctors okay. That's the most important thing. All right, I just have about 2 minutes. I'm going to try and run through one question from every single platform that I can, all right? So let's see what we get there. Sign Corbin and Sale plus Machado. Yeah, okay. All right, let's sign everybody. We're the Lakers now. All right, I think Kenley mentioned he would pitch it if he came to it. Exactly, he wanted to pitch. The Dodgers are the wild card, not the Rockies. Yes, they are, but the Cardinals, Rockies, and Dodgers are all looking to try and be that last wild card. Are the Brewers in the wild card, not the Rockies? The Brewers are in the wild card. Right now it's the Brewers and the Cardinals at the moment, but the Rockies are right behind the Cardinals, and the Dodgers are just above the Cardinals. Or I think they're actually tied now with the Cardinals. But they're winning the division anyway, so it wouldn't matter. Okay, let's see on Periscope. For everyone here, ESPN LA, it doesn't look like we have another new question here, so I'm going to move over to the Periscope on Dodgers Nation. Love your show. All right. All right, all facts. This is only Dodger talk I recognize. That's what I'm talking about. Love that you like it. Thank you. Love Puig and Jock. We just have too many players, not enough spots. It's kind of true. He was always a rental. Yes, he was always a rental. Oldham's, let's talk about it. You speaking Spanish? I am, yes. Haha. Okay. Let's see. Where's a question? I live in the DMV and watch Harper. You really don't want the headache. Right. Let's see. There you go. We don't want the headache. All right, let's see. I only got a couple seconds left here. Let me get a last question on Instagram that I can. I'm going all the way to the bottom without breaking it. Let's see. Oh, you're hitting crazy stuff. All these weird little emojis that I can't see through. Trout. If Kershaw opts out, do you think the Dodgers would try to resign him? Yes, I do think they try to resign him, but I think they try to resign him for a less amount of money. Let's go right here. I only have a couple seconds left. Imagine Puig and Matt Kemp as a DL in the world. Are your thoughts? Oh, God, I don't want DL. I hate DL, so I don't want to do it. And by the way, congratulations, Jaime Jarrín, getting into the wall of honor and doing all that. That's great for him. Congratulations. All right, that's it for me. I love you guys. I'll be back here again on Sunday night after the Dodgers win the next two. Watch, it's going to happen. All right, love you guys. See you next time. Peace. I'm out of here.